What's up, guys? This is Tim Credeur, and I'm here with Karson Lawless from Gladiators Crowley. He's only 6 years old, and he'll be competing in Raging FC 3. I'm just kidding. How old are you, Karson?
16.
16. How long have you been doing MMA?
5 years.
5 years. And you started at Gladiators Crowley?
Yes.
When you first started, did they make you wear shrimping boots when you grappled? No. Just kidding. How many of these Gamma and amateur MMA matches have you done so far? I know you've done a bunch.
This will be my sixth one.
Sixth one. And like I said, 6 years old. That's pretty incredible. You've had some tough matches. You fought some serious competitors like Foster Peterson and some tough fights. What have you learned over the years just competing in that kind of thing in front of that many people? Obviously, it's a little bit of a daunting task for a 15 or 16-year-old kid competing like that in front of that many people. What have you learned?
I just had to get used to the crowd and get used to being in that type of light and just ignore everybody in there because they're yelling some things. And then just get better at wrestling, like not worrying about striking since it's only body strikes, and just get better in my ground game.
I tell people that fighting in the gym and fighting in front of a crowd are not the same thing. And you would agree, yeah?
Yes.
One of the biggest things I think for me is like the adrenaline and how much more tiring it is in real life. I don't mean real life, but like when you're in a setting because, you know, there's pressure, your parents are there, your teammate, your coaches, and you don't want to let people down, and you're also kind of a little nervous. And I think some people act like don't get scared, but, you know, I don't think the fear is like I'm going to die, right? The fear is maybe I'm not going to perform to my potential, you know? And I think like after the first round, you sit on a stool and you're like, why am I this tired, right? Oh, yeah. What kind of things have you experienced so far that probably normal people who don't compete at this level, what kind of things can you clarify?
My last fight, that was the most nervous I've ever been. I threw up in the back, and I just couldn't calm my nerves down. But once I walked out there and stepped in the cage, I wasn't nervous at all. Like, all of it just went away because you don't know what's going to happen in there, and you're just scared to lose. So
yeah. More nervous than, like, Sadie Hawkins dances?
Sure.
So this fight, RFC 3, you have Christian DeLeon from Aaron Phillips' gym from Head Kicks. Are you working on anything differently going forward, or is it just like business as usual?
Setting up my takedowns. My last fight, I didn't shoot too good of takedowns. And like if I'm not comfortable striking with them, setting up, getting close, and shooting takedowns on the cage.
Yeah, I remember when you first started doing this, you couldn't spell wrestling. But yeah, you're right. One thing that changes the game is the wall. You know, maybe you didn't wrestle in high school or at the Y or somewhere, but working on cage takedowns and wall takedowns really can change the game, especially when you're fighting in RFC and the cage is like 20, 22 feet. There's a lot of cage wall there. So that's exciting. Are there anything else you'd like to say to the RFC fans or sponsors you'd like to thank or anything like that?
I'm just ready to put on a show. I've been wanting to fight for RFC since the first one, so I'm excited to fight in September.
Well, we're excited to have you. You know, the biggest thing for us is we want to make this sport accessible for the people who are putting in the work. And you've always been a young athlete who's putting in the work. And, you know, you blow my phone up and blow up Instagram asking for fights. You don't never care who you're fighting. And you definitely represent, like, your gym well. And your attitude towards training and your attitude towards competing is commendable. So I think you have a bright future. Going to be a tough fight. Aaron's always got tough fights, but it's exciting to see you grow and develop. You know, one day I'll let you punch people in the face. Thanks for watching. RFC 3 is going to be September 20th in Lake Charles Civic Center. You can get tickets at RagingFC.com. Come check out Karson Lawless, RFC's first 6-year-old MMA athlete.